Go to the settings though. Okay. Alright. But let's go ahead and play. Hit the play button. Oh, they just threw me right up in there. They ain't give me no lore. Samar was pecking at his bowl of grapes. He was trying to summon the courage to say something, but I was grateful that he had yet to find it. I spoke up. I am a patient who knows his ailment, its cause, and its severity. There is nothing to mull over. When a single rotten grape begins to spoil the whole basket, then it's wise to throw the rot away before it spoils the rest. I am that grape. Samar was taken aback by my bluntness. He lowered the grape away from his mouth, looking at it as if he actually did see my face in it. He wanted to console me and say sweet, comforting things, but he saw that I was in no mood for that. I continued, knowing that I needed to quicken this rendezvous if I wanted to start on my journey soon. My only worry is that I'm leaving you with too much of my own burden. It seems rather unfair to me. Shamar was quick to rest my doubts with pride in his eyes. Don't worry about that for a second. Your children are like my own. I'll look after them just like you did. Shamar went about his assurances, and my mind started to wander. My eyes were screaming the cafe where we sitting in. They fixed on a note plastered on the wall, calling for help. It read, calling. That word sent a shiver down my spine, like a cold, sharp whip against the flesh. Shamar's voice was fading into ether, and I felt myself falling away, far away. I was in my dream again, a deep black sea, and I was drowning. The black bottomless pit was leaping up to grab me, falling down, drowning deeper and deeper I went until the loud blaring of the smoke alarm brought me back to the present, and I found that Shamar was still talking about the same thing. How long was I gone for? Shamar continued on, unaware of my slip. They wouldn't miss their father. I mean, there would be. I'm happy to hear that, Shamar. I cut Shamar off, feeling guilty for a moment, but there was simply no time. I had to hurry. I had no doubt that Shamar meant that what he was saying. He was a man of his word and honor since the first day I saved him. He pledged me his life and hasn't deterred from that oath since then. My respect for him has only grown since, as he proved to be more than a brother to me over the years. If it wasn't for that, I would not have dared to do what I was doing now. I have no doubt that you'll be a loving father to them. They'll lead a normal life. And I'll find peace in my last years, knowing that I have given them a chance at a better life. No one deserves to see their loved one turn into a stranger, and I wanted to shield them from this agony sooner than later. Besides that, they are young. Soon they'll forget my face and look at you as their true father. It was still a very hard thing to say, no matter how resolute I pretend to be. He smiled a sad smile at those words and looked down at the grapes, still searching for something appropriate to say to that. My concern is more about you. He finally sighed and spoke, his eyes still digging in the floor. I couldn't tell him where I was going. It would undo all that I was doing, and small bubbles of doubt were already foaming within my mind about the plan. I needed to act before my mind changes. I stood up, spoke before Shamar would ask me about the address. It's getting late, and by the time I'll be out of the city, it'll be dark. I need as much light as I can get on the road. Shamar followed and stood up after me. He gave me insurances and bid me farewell. He wanted to say more, but kept his silence. The journey ahead of me was long and arduous, and the sun, Ardius, the sun was already slipping underneath the horizon, leaving streaks of pink hues across the sky. I parted with Shamar and went on my way. My mind fixed on the secluded houses I was heading towards. I was hoping with all of my heart that the house would welcome me and mend my broken spirit. With this serenity and the solitude it provided me. I was leaving the city behind and hoped that I was leaving my sorrows with it. Okay. I don't have a flashlight. What is this? What was that? What was that lit up? Something lit up down here. Passcode required. What is this? What's this? I can't see anything. There aren't any lights. The clock tick, tick, ticks. The bell ring, ring, rings. The blood drips, drips, drips. That's crazy. What is this? Where can I find the code? What is this? Need it open? The fuck is this? It's a lantern. Can I get the lantern? So how do I find this damn code? Do I have to read those? I think I might have to read them. Night opened up its dark wings to spread across the horizon and covered everything with a thick, choking fog. It's been a long time since my heart was warmed by the sunshine, and it feels like it was just as dark outside as it is in my heart. How many nights has it been? Too many to recall. Seems like it has been a long time since I left the city, as if this has been my only home. This is where I have always lived. A shiver went down my spine, but I tried to ignore the feeling. Somehow, each night seems to be bleaker than the last, and is spreading inside the house, pouring in through the broken window like a charcoal black snake slithering its way inside. I tell myself this comforts me. The darkness and the silence soothes my senses, but I can't deny the feeling that some terror lurks in these dead woods, watching me and waiting. It's just a fantasy made up by your old, broken brain. The bulbs needs changing. That's all it is, I reassured myself. The terrace bulb needs its casing repaired. One day it'll fall and give me a heart attack. When there is such a deep silence, a whisper sounds like a shriek, and a smashing bulb would make an awful lot of noise. The stillness in this place has made me jumpy, that's all. I'm acting like a child. But why are there no stars in the sky? Why are they hiding? Did someone put them out like 1,000 flickering candles? Maybe it's all an imagination of my old frail mind. I guess it's time to pick up my tools again. Carving wood and molding clay soothes my mind and hones my thinking. It will take my mind off this darkness, and I can't be careless with my medicine any longer. The shaking and paranoia is all due to an irregularity in taking my pills. This is it. It's not the house or the woods playing tricks on me. My loneliness and grief has turned everything around me sorrowful and sinister. Whereas the rustling of leaves in the wind sounds like a sweet song of nature before now. It sounds like old dead beings whispering underneath their breath. The darkness used to feel comforting before. Now it seems alive, engulfing everything that has warmth and life. Is it going to give me a code? I just need the code, sir. Passcode required, okay. I was working past midnight yesterday, as I often do, when I heard a loud blast of thunder which pulled me out of my work. The crash was so loud that I was certain it was right over my roof. Every time it roared, a blazing of stinging pain struck my mind, and I started to feel dizzy. My head began to ache like it had been split into two. Soon after, my vision started to blur and I panicked a little. I comforted myself by saying that this is the result of overworking and undereating. I feel frail, old, and burdened with grief. There used to be a heart beating in my chest, but now there is just emptiness. Am I filling the void with this constant sculpting? Is it just to distract myself from my grief? I knew the answer to this. The words couldn't come to my lips, but they were clearing my mind. Excuse me. I missed them. I couldn't go back to work after this. My heart was sinking and my head felt dizzy. I need some air, I told myself. I stood up carefully, went out of the study room and into the lounge. What I saw at the door froze me and made me forget about my headache and worries. A dark silhouette formed in the corridor, barely visible in the light of the fire from the hearth. Who's there? I heard myself asking. It's just a shadow on the wall, I thought. My sleep-deprived brain is deceiving my eyes, surely. I rubbed my eyes, but didn't take a step forward. When I looked again, the shadow was still there, but took a more clear form. It's the nun, my newest sculpt. I had spent months carefully crafting every little detail while sculpting her. When I had finished, I immediately knew that it was my masterpiece. I had even made a glass case to store her in. She will outlive me. I want her to be my legacy. I was proud of her, but until today, I never feared her. I did now. She stood in the dark corridor, intently staring at me. Her body was almost one with the darkness, but her bulbous white eyes were visible even in the dark. Lidless eyes, pouring fear into my heart, unblinking and intent, and alive. No, it's all in your head. Wake up. A voice jolted me and brought my courage and senses back to me slowly. Did I put her here last night in my distraction and haste? I have been awfully forgetful lately. This could be my own doing. Excuse me. I must have left there while I was moving her from. There used to be a heart beating in my chest, but now there is just emptiness. Hold on. From my study room, I'm sorry. I comforted myself and took a deep breath of relief. I looked back at the corridor and saw nothing. She stood clear as day just a moment ago, and now there is nothing. No! A weak groan left my mouth. It hardly sounded like words. I took a step forward and then another, and finally stood up at the spot where I saw her. There was nothing there but darkness. A void of terror stood there and nothing else. Are my eyes playing tricks on me? Or this house? A trick of the mind, that's all, I told myself. I have not slept for the last 2 days. What should I expect? The notion should have given me comfort before I realized in that moment that the terror is not confined to my nightmares anymore. Have I started dreaming with my eyes open now? If my waking dreams are like this, then I prayed that my sleep is dreamless. But how could I sleep after this? Sleep had left me like laughter and happiness had. I truly feel alone now. Next day I summoned enough courage and locked her in the room with the red door. Dream or hallucination, putting her in the locked room eased my mind. What was that? Oh. How am I supposed to get this code? I've weighed my dilemma and quantified my options. I thought perhaps writing them down would make the decision easy, but it didn't. On the one hand, the city life would bring me close to my family again. I'll see them smile again. That laughter would ease all of my worries from my mind. On the other hand, this house will bring me creative fulfillment and peace, and a place to live out of my sorry existence, away from everyone's mockery. But I can't. This house is foul. It has a mind of its own and is playing tricks on me to drive me mad. With every passing second, I feel the gnawed fingers coming out from the walls and strangling me in my sleep. In the mirror, I saw red marks on my neck this morning. Could they just be mosquito bites? They look strangely like fingers. I've noticed myself scratching wildly in the night. Is this my own doing? But it was just the marks. It was everything. But it wasn't just the marks, it was everything. I was disgusted by my own meekly reflection. The man who stood in the mirror was not me. He was weak and weary, flesh almost gone from under his skin, and dark circles surrounded his eyes. His face was worn, and he mocked me with his hideous, piercing gaze. I couldn't stand the sight. Suddenly, fury took hold of me, and I smashed the mirror. But that wasn't all. Something much worse happened later that day. I had to discard all of my pills down the flesh. They had changed color, and I saw mouse droppings just an inch away from my pills. I had noticed their taste changing, but didn't think much of it. But I saw today that the packaging was tampered. There was a small slit around the holes where the pills laid. Did someone took them out and replaced them? Someone's poisoning me. The thought left cold sweat on my forehead, and I shivered in fear. Even if it's just the rats gnawing at them, the risk was too great and the fear greater. I had no choice but to flush the pills down the toilet. I felt safer after that. Later, when I was busy writing my diary, I saw a big rat scurrying its way around my bookshelf. Was this the same rat that caused me so much trouble? I was furious and I wanted to kill it right there. It would have been satisfying killing this pest and seeing its blood pooling out from his infested body. I could have bit through its flesh and see it scream. The thought gave me delight for a moment before shame took over my mind. I was repulsed at my thoughts. I noticed that I was holding my pencil in my fist, raging at the hideous, scheming rat. The pencil broke in my fist, and suddenly my rage was gone. I was left with confusion and shame. What am I becoming? What is this place doing to me? I was disgusted by my own behavior, and I knew I had to get out. This house isn't safe. It's pushing me to something. It's changing me. I felt that I had made a terrible decision coming here, and with each passing day, it was getting worse. With each day, the realization became clearer that staying here was a folly. I could go back to the city and start again. I might even see my children again in Samar. Worse happened later that day. I had to discard all of my pills down the flesh. Oh, hold on. What is the point of living here alone, away from all of those I love? I would never see my children grow. I would never hear their laughter again. Is it even worth living like this? The faces of my sons floated in front of my eyes, their eyes beaming with laughter and innocence. Are you living your life fully, my child? Do you chase fireflies at night and dream of sun-kissed meadows and laughter? I hope you do. My own nights are brimming with terror, and my dreams are laced with fear. Was that? You're crazy, Timmy had said, others soon joining him. Laughter erupted from every mouth, and I saw fingers pointing at me, pointing and laughing. It went on for a long time that day, and many days after that. I cried endlessly and felt sorry for myself. But that was a long time ago. I laugh at that now. Being called an insane was less offensive and more disappointing. It's that typical oversimplification and labeling of anything deviant and strange. Society's go-to word to categorize anyone or anything different. I have long stopped dwelling over it. I have changed. I can imagine the mockery if they were to see me chewing on this rat's meat. Their voices would be malicious, but it's the hatred in their eyes which I despise the most. They would call me a cannibal rodent, feeding on his own kind. I need to stop thinking about them. It's all in the past now. Suddenly, Irene's face appeared in front of me. Are you laughing too, like Tommy and the rest? Do you find me repulsive too? She didn't answer, but the thought was too much to bear. I found my eyes suddenly filled with tears. Just cry, old man. This is what you do best. Cry and die. You can do that much at least. It'll all be over and I might see Irene again. She awaits me on the other side. I would see her beautiful face again. And what if you do see her? Do you think she would welcome you into her embrace? A bitter voice was filling my head again. Fool, you are crazy, old man who has lost his wits. Save me, she asked me as she lay on that bed. And did I? It was too much to think about. I choked back my tears as I stood near this old bench, unable to take a single step forward. I can't leave. I am a culprit, and this house is my prison. I deserve this. This house is not my enemy, it's my retribution. I turned back to face the house. My feet started moving on their own, and I found myself walking back to the house. The house is waiting for me, it's calling me. Besides, there is nothing but ridicule waiting for me in the city. Timmy and all the rest, a field of hatred and mockery. There is safety here. I belong here. The darkness in the house doesn't scare me. It soothes me. It protects me. How wrong was I for ever thinking of leaving this place? The stench I thought was coming from the basement doesn't worry me either. I have in fact grown to like the smell. It has a sweet, mysterious aroma. It gives me strength and the sense of bond with this house. I can't believe I was ever repulsed at the thought of eating the rat. I looked in its small eyes when I bit into its flesh. It was perhaps scared of me, but I couldn't see any fear in its eyes. What I saw instead was far more fulfilling. I have the case of the yawns, y'all. I don't know why. I just do. I saw the light flickering away from his eyes. And with every bite, I felt stronger. I was absorbing life, and that feeling gave me strength, making me feel so ecstatic. I was feeding on life itself. I just felt so alive. The joy of this notion took over me, and I chuckled with excitement. Suddenly, a brilliant thought came to my mind. I should set up traps in the house. There must be so many rats around in the fields. The thought made me more excited than I had ever been in my life. I saw a flickering of hope within the darkest dungeons of my mind, and for the first time in a long time, I slept peacefully that night, without any nightmares. I welcomed this new beginning with open arms. Can't shift to her. Irene gave me the stunning old brazen vase. It used to sit here on the hearth, and where now only a faint stain lies. One day it's here, then the next it was gone without a trace, just like she did. But her vanishing was of my own doing. I drove her to that, and to blame for her fate and for everything else. It feels too long ago. Even the memory is starting to fade. And her name too. After a long time, I had uttered her name today. Her memory will wash away slowly, but the guilt won't. This vase was the last tether to her memory. And now, a tether, I'm sorry. And now that's gone too. Having taken with it all of my warmth, leaving me bare, cold, and loveless. All its emotion value put aside, the vase was a thing of beauty and a marvel to behold too. It was a rare thing that Irene had brought from a strange trader traveling from Innsmouth. The vase had a slimy, glossy texture and ancient, crude design, but when shone under the light, the materials would come to life with bursting colors, as if it was absorbing the energy of light and slowly coming to life. It felt as though in a few minutes under the light, the surface would crack open and something strange and unknown would born out of this strange egg. Yet I never kept it exposed to the light for too long, as it would become unbearably hot to touch, and I was afraid it would break. I inquired Irene about the trader's origin and his destination, but she had not asked him many questions about his whereabouts. She tried to locate him afterwards, but he vanished completely, as if he never existed, and the vase itself proved to be unlike anything in the records of a local library. Its origins remain unknown, and its ambiguity, I don't know, I can't say it. Ambiguity. It's ambiguity. And craftsmanship led us to a lot of interest from potential wealthy buyers. She, however, never wanted to part with it, no matter how much it would sell for. When she told me about the trader, I knew she must have misheard, or trader was a con man who lied about his origin, because Innsmouth was a fictional place with no real world trace. Either the trader was a madman who fancied that he had contacted an ancient race born with God's blood, or he just lied to sell his wares. I chose to believe the latter. However, my mind has expanded to a lot of hidden realities of the world since I have moved here. Could it be that the trader was speaking the truth? If so, then the misfortune of losing it stings even worse. As strange as it sounds, but the absence of that vase has left me feeling more alone than I had felt in this house before. I am starting to realize how far away from any human being I am. The notion sent a shiver down my spine. If something happens, no one will come to my help. I am truly and utterly alone, with nothing but death to accompany me. I can smell it. It smells cold and ancient. I started to trace the origins of the smell and found that it's coming from the basement a pungent and hideous stench of decay slowly rising from underneath the basement door. Something behind this door is dead. Something, I told myself, and heard a voice inside me say that it's someone. But no matter what happens, I will never step into that basement. Not again. I don't know where to find this goddamn code. Because it's codes for everything. Let's see it. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Who is that talking?
Then answer. Can't you see? I thought so. You can't save me. You can't face fear.
What's that? Where did he go? Where did that shit go? guess I got the code. Always open. What the fuck? Ugh. This house is my atonement, and when I draw my last breath,